Okay. Hey, what's up? This is Fletch Wheeler with another episode of Fletch for Life with my co-host Greg. What's good, bro?
Another day, another dollar.
How about those Seahawks?
Yeah, actually, that's another thing I told you they were going to win. But no, my favorite team, the Dodgers, one of their starting pitchers said he's taking the Seahawks by 17. They won by 16. So
Wow.
Blake Snell with the prediction.
Wow. I heard their defense was just like ridiculous.
They just got ranked one of the top Super Bowl defensive teams, one of the top 5 of all time.
Yeah.
By numbers. So, yeah, they were good.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, congratulations to them.
Yep.
Wow, man.
That's Seahawks now. All Seattle needs is another basketball team. Bring the NBA back to Seattle.
Jeez. Wow, Seattle. And that's crazy because Seattle's like, I know it used to be called one of the capitals of suicide because of their dreary weather and all that. It's like England, it's like, it was like a joke a long time ago. What do you wake up today? What do you do? Wait till this evening and I'll kill myself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, seriously. But today we're going to answer some of the questions that my viewers have sent over. So we got some interesting questions. Greg, you want to go ahead and read the first one and put it up?
Number 1. Yeah, I mean, this was pretty straightforward, obviously. He just wants to know leg training.
Huh?
He just wants to he wants some leg training. This is from Vivek Tiga 99, and we will be shouting out later. But he wrote it pretty simply on there. He just said legs.
So for me, legs should be the first exercise you do of the week because you're at your strongest, your nutrition and everything as it is at its highest. And I just believe in legs just being intense, man. I believe in 20 reps per set, about 4 sets of exercise. Always start off with leg extension. I start off with uterolateral leg extension, so right leg, then left leg, then right leg, then left leg. From there, I would normally go to squats, 4 sets of 20s. From there, go to leg press, 4 sets of 20s. Single leg press, 4 sets of 20s. Maybe hack squats, depending on how I feel. And then back to leg press, utilizing both legs.
If you're still
call it a day.
Now, how does that differ from what you did in the 90s with Charles?
So with Charles, I hadn't evolved to the 20s yet,
right.
But everything was pretty much the same. I know he incorporated a lot of hack squats. I always felt that those just were really hard on my knees, just because of the angle of the hack squat movement. But also, I forgot that I would a lot of times also use a 90-degree angle leg press.
Oh,
so that's when you're fully on the ground and you're looking up and the leg presses above you and you bring your legs and you put them up. It's called a 90 angle. Yeah. What did you call it?
Vertical leg press.
Vertical. Okay. Yeah. That's an absolute amazing move, man. I love that move. That's it about leg press.
So what were the so going back, just because that the 90s, you basically you and Dorian and then you and Ronnie ruled the 90s as far as physique stuff goes. What were did you ever work out with Ronnie? You never worked out with Ronnie or Dorian back then, right? It was that was enemy territory.
Never worked out with Dorian just because he was always over in England.
Sure.
Ronnie, I think towards the end of my career, not his, I was at his gym and he was like, let's work out. I was like, man, I know what you're trying to get me into. And I think I got into like 4 or 5 movements and I'm like, dude, I'm out of here. It was blitzing hot. I mean, scorching freaking hot. And I was like, man, I'm out of here. I'll wait for you up at the front desk. But I never did a real workout with Ronnie either.
And him, Branch, and Johnny just powered through all that stuff in that weather, huh?
Yeah, you get used to it after a while, but I was not used to that type of heat. Yeah.
And you're from Fresno.
Yeah. Well, my body had changed because I moved to, Venice, which is pretty, overcast, pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for those California haters, you can't hate the coastal weather. And if you want good weather year round, you can't.
Yeah.
We just got our second rain of the year right now. In San Jose.
Really?
Yeah, it's raining outside right now, which is for someone anywhere else in the country, this is not rain to them. This is a drizzle, but it's rain for us.
Really? Wow. It hasn't, man, it really didn't rain that much here in Vegas at all.
And you guys get storms.
Yeah, we didn't get, well, we got a couple of bad, storms, but the typical rain, we didn't get that. So it's going to be a dry summer for us.
All right. So going back to that, when you were working out with, or when you were at the gym with Ronnie while he was working out, what were his rep schemes like in sets and all that kind of stuff? I mean, we know he went all out. That's not even a question.
Yeah, I think he did high reps. I don't know the number of them, but I know he did more than 10 for his reps on legs. He was just a brute. Ronnie was just different, man. He was a workhorse. I mean, you got to be out of your mind and try to keep up with that guy.
But he also mixed in some powerlifting parameters, right? Like he would do some heavy 3s and 4s for 800 pounds.
Oh yeah. He would get up there. Yeah, he would get up there, and that's where everybody would just back off and watch A Star Is Born. I mean, nobody got up into that weight. Chris, Dorian, Jay, nobody touched those type of weights at all.
God, that's
yeah. It was something to see, man. Jeez. And his legs were just freaking so overpowering. It was just crazy and shredded and dry.
There had to be some figure girls that had smaller waists than his thighs, right?
I guarantee that.
Like my wife's was probably smaller than his thighs.
I guarantee that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now you've worked. You haven't really. It's been a while since the muscular development days when you actually went and interviewed people during preps and stuff. But you've worked with a few competitors.
Yeah.
Some that might not admit to it.
Yeah.
But what did you see from their workouts? Were they doing enough, do you think? And I mean, I guess we got to go back to what Taiga actually meant, right? Like legs for what? What are you getting ready for?
Yeah.
If it's physique competition, or are you getting ready for an American style football season or an international football season? Are you getting ready for the beach and you're just a regular guy?
Right.
Are you a boxer?
Well, for me, it's all the same. It's all the same workout generally. It's just the intensity that's taken away from it. So, but the intensity is what drives a hard workout. So doing light sets of 20s is not going to be that damaging. It's going to be more cardio. It's going to get your legs in shape. It's going to keep your heart rate up. But I've trained professional athletes and did the exact same workout. And all it did is just it increased their volume. It increased their ability to go longer, which in any sport, that's what you use. I equate that to back when I was younger, when we were in high school. Actually, I was out of high school, and my brother Darnell was he was just a pure track star, right? I mean, he got a scholarship to Fullerton State just because of his speed that he did in a 40. I think it was a 4.3 or something. It was handheld back then. So they did it like 3 times, and each time it was that. I mean, he would just run circles around me on a football field. And later on, when I started working out and squatting, we had raced, and I'd almost beat him. And I didn't know how to run or anything, but I just ran pure out of just brute strength. And he said he had to run almost hard as he could just to keep me off of him. And I equated that just to leg strength. And that's back when a lot of track stars started squatting, because it's a powerful, dominant move for your legs. But yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, how did you go about it? Because I'm thinking about one person that you work with most recently that we're not going to discuss names at this point, but he's a top 5 Olympia guy nowadays.
Oh, Andrew.
More of a powerlifting.
You mean Andrew?
I guess we can call him that.
Yeah, Andrew.
He came from more of a powerlifting background prior to getting into physique stuff, right? So he was,
yes.
I mean, powerlifting parameters are different because you're going for a 1 rep max.
Sure.
So when someone like him or Larry Wheels starts to venture over into physique competitions, it changes things. They didn't look like, those two don't look like typical powerlifters to begin with.
No, not at all. No,
right?
freakishly strong.
Normally they're, I mean, no offense to Stan and everybody else, but they're usually fat. At that weight class.
Yeah.
So how did you go about getting them to change their minds, or getting him to change his mindset on things?
Right. And that's even Stan too, who came from an incredible, powerful background. So the one thing you notice with squatters, they don't have really powerful legs like bodybuilders. You can look at more bodybuilders with incredible, powerful legs than you do squatters, because it's not about reps. It's about pure strength. And they also engage their hips a lot and their glutes into their workout. So, with Andrew, it was difficult for him to switch over to the mind frame of reps of 20s. And, I remember like the first workout, he was like, man, I can't believe it. It feels like I never worked legs out in my life. And that's normal because you're not used to that type of workout. But it's really humbling, barely squatting 3 plates for 20s when you're used to squatting, 5 or 6, because everybody's looking, you want to show off and all that stuff. But if you buy into the system, like Stan really bought into the system, and he was my biggest challenge because he was the first pure power lifter that I ever trained. I was like, like I said, a lot of times I was like, man, do I train them based on a power lifter, or do I train them based on my philosophy? And I was like, well, I'm just going to explain it to him and see what he says. And I explained it to him, and he was like, man, you're the pro, I'm not. I'm here to learn from you. And he just locked in it, and he just loved it. I mean, he would be laying on the ground down there puking, and he would just laugh. He would just laugh out loud. And like, man, I love this. And I'm like, dude, you are sick. Something's wrong with you. But he would just be able to take himself there. And he's the one who coined, 20s to change your life, where people that he's trained and other people that I've trained, like, yeah, man, 20s will change your life. And it will. Yeah, they will. They will.
Well, that's another thing. It's funny you brought that up. And I would say it probably goes vice versa, right? You take a bodybuilder, you take, I know Bumstead's trying to change things up, and you put him through a powerlifter workout, he'll probably gas up, or you wouldn't be ready for it either initially.
Sure, of course.
Help him to the west side. But Stan, obviously he got his pro card under you at the Masters Nationals, but if you look at him, you wouldn't think he actually squats more than Ronnie does.
Yeah, I know.
And benches more than Ronnie does. As a powerlifter.
Yeah.
Like Ronnie never hit the numbers that Stan hit.
Yeah.
But again, it comes down to, it's not about how you look in powerlifting, right? Which is why there's so many fat ones. It's about, you would never say Louis Simmons was ever going to win a physique competition.
No.
But how many powerlifting world records did that guy set?
Yeah. And think about Stan, it was just that type of training over and over and over and over. And he went to the best powerlifter people. He went to Smelly. He went to all those guys and trained with them and learned their philosophy and just incorporate that. And it was more like core strength. It was an incredible amount of core strength, but it was more so that, like, squatters, if you squat down over your knees, which causes your legs to engage fully. Uh, I'm sorry, bodybuilders, if you squat down, you squat fully over your knees so that your legs fully engage. Powerlifters, if you know, they actually sit back
Yeah.
and squat down, so their glutes and hamstrings are coming more into play, and that's why a lot of the times they don't have the craziest legs, but they have the craziest leg strength.
Yeah, that's
And
it's all
Ronnie
about
is a
the
hybrid of
rules.
both.
Yeah.
But you notice Ronnie always squatted over his knees, so that's why he had such overwhelming, leg strength and leg development.
Yeah. I mean, it's the power lifter squat versus the bodybuilder squat versus a Olympic weightlifter. Three different Olympic weightlifters a little bit closer because they're more upright.
Yeah,
Powerlifters, they sit back more and they only have to break parallel with their hip crease, right? Whereas
yeah.
it's a different situation than the other two versions. So
And that's
again,
why a lot of them have hip problems later on. They'll have to have hip replacement and stuff like that because it's engaging their hips a lot more than it
well,
is.
it's not the fact it's 800 pounds they're putting on their shoulders.
Yeah,
And then 20 minutes later, they're deadlifting a little bit more than that.
yeah. Crazy strength, man. Crazy.
Yeah. So I guess for Tyga, I wish people wouldn't come up with some crazy handle names, but I guess we need a little bit more information about what you wanted to really discuss as far as legs go. But
Yeah,
um, my bottom line is train them. You got to do it. You can't. I mean, not to put Flex on the spot, but even now, that's part of his regular routine, even with some contraindications that he might have.
yeah. Even as painful as it is, I try to do it. And the thing about it is, I'll I'll start to get a good leg response, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, I missed this," and then pain it hits so bad, I'm like, "Damn it, I'm done." So yeah, that sucks. And like I haven't figured out. I have I have two different legs. One is a suction, and whenever I do leg extensions, because the pad is pushing down, so it's squeezing my leg,
Uh-huh.
it's causing my leg to shrink. So then um, my prosthetic then slips off when I'm walking, which is dangerous.
Oh,
And when I'm doing leg curls, think about it. When you're doing leg curls, it's basically trying to pull my leg off. So after a while, 2 or 3 sets, it literally just pulls it off. I'm like, that sucks. And then I
yeah.
have another one that it's when my leg is smaller, but it's actually a screw that clicks in, and that I can do full on legs and everything. So I'm just waiting for my residual limb to get smaller again, so that I can wear that leg, and then I'll be able to do legs more. It's just with that one, I have no push off. I can't propel myself off of it because it just gives in either way.
So I've seen videos of you. You've done sled work also. Which leg are you using for that one specifically?
Back when I was doing sled work, that's kind of just like walking.
Okay.
That's just down force. That's more or less just dealing with the thought that my leg is going to be just slamming down to the bottom of the prosthetic. So, yeah, that's, kind of mind over matter.
Got
Um,
it. Yeah, and the one thing that we can say, and you and I both spoke about this, the research on longevity and quality of life as it correlates with not just overall strength. That's something you should have, but specifically leg strength. There's even a more direct correlation. So,
and
uh,
trust me, I keep that in mind, definitely. I mean, I've lost incredible leg size and strength. It's weird when I first had my amputation, I was stronger and I could endure a little bit more. Now things have gotten more sensitive and atrophy has kicked in.
mm,
So I'm like, God dang. So I really have to push it more so now.
well, and I can't think of any sport or any activity in life really where you don't need them. I mean, you could probably test that even more if things start to really pop up where
I
it wasn't
do.
even, it wasn't even a forethought before.
Just getting up and walking to my car. I mean, just getting up and walking around the house. Just, yeah, it's just, It is what it is. I'm not going to cry about it. It's my life, and I just got to get on with it.
But it lends towards how much more how more important much more important it is for you to keep that part of your body strong.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're big on first responders, specifically law enforcement, them taking care of themselves. And that's something, something I pulled up recently. I did a video on this, the Army fitness test. There's a 3-rep max deadlift as part of their programming. That's part of their testing.
Wow.
Which I'm cool with, but they use a trap bar, which I'm like, all right, well, you're going to take the easy approach.
Look at you.
But their recommended training to increase their deadlift, which, they're going for 3-rep max deadlift, the maximum weight they could do. So, there's a sliding scale on that one. Their training recommendations are not to do deadlifts. And this is coming from the Army's fitness manual. Their recommendations are kettlebell sumo deadlifts, kettlebell alternating lunges, and jump squats.
Really?
Yeah, that's like saying, all right, we're going to test you on your baseball swing. We're going to get you better at this by swimming, throwing a football, and boxing.
I wonder what their logic is behind that.
Oh, I know what their logic is. It's easier, and they don't have to teach anybody anything. Everything comes down to it's easier this way, and they don't have to worry about it. But I don't see them. It's like, this is the first time I'm throwing this at you because I didn't even prepare you for that part of it. As I went over the 3 things they recommended, and this is coming from their fitness manual, you're looking at it like we're not even on the same topic anymore for the most part.
Wow, that's pretty contradictory.
And it's funny enough, that's what we saw Pete Hegseth doing during that Army workout when he was on videos. They were doing kettlebell stuff, which you can't get optimal strength out of something unless it's heavy.
Jeez. Oh, don't even mention that name.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that it's verified that this is what they're doing. They're doing kettlebell work. And I just don't. If your goal is to be a better kettlebeller, if that's even a thing, like if you're doing a CrossFit workout for time or whatever, then that makes sense. But if your goal is to do a max amount of weight for 3 reps on a deadlift, you should be working on the deadlift. And I think that's, how many times did you see Stan using a kettlebell when he's getting ready for his strength?
I don't think I've ever seen Stan touch a kettlebell.
Did Andrew? I don't think I've ever seen Andrew with a kettlebell.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. That's the fitness space, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess we're asking for a little bit more. Thank you for the question. First off, we're getting those in. We want to answer these and get you guys engaging with us and getting some feedback. And maybe one day we'll actually invite you guys on, and we'll do these questions live or record them live.
Yeah, but we just need a little bit more direction on what you mean by just
right. Which is funny enough because someone else followed up with this question: leg training once or twice a week, which is optimal? Blah blah blah. And this is coming from Mark. Is that Mark? And I'm hitting your eyes.
Scott.
Sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
But that's actually a very good question. I think we're getting a little bit more into the nitty gritty of things here.
Yeah.
But again, it comes down to what are you training for?
Yeah. And what's your training split, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing 4 on, 1 off, then you're going to be able to hit legs twice a week just because of the split. Unless you're doing a 4 on, 2 off, then you won't. But I've always trained 5 on, 1 off. So which means I do legs twice a week. It would be Monday and then it would be the last day because that would be the 5th day. But it all depends. I know it is an argument that, it's obvious. For legs, it is your biggest body part. So it is going to take the most amount of energy for you to do. And then also, it's for the average person, it's going to be difficult pushing legs because your legs is a high aerobic muscle anyway. It carries you all day. It can run all day. So how do you fatigue it to the point where it's going to actually grow? But you also have to give it a reasonable amount of time to rehabilitate. So the more you train them, the less time it has to rehabilitate. And obviously, when a muscle is at rest, is when it grows and it recuperates. So again, it's just going to depend on what you're trying to do. Where are your legs now? Are they weak? Are they okay? Are they big? And you just want to get them bigger, you know, what's your goal and what you're trying to get out of them. But for me, easily, I would say twice a week.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's so interesting. Something you brought up, and this is actually a point of discussion about Dorian, is that he made a statement. I think he wasn't thinking like, you know, someone who works a 20, you know, 9 to 5 job, but he said he worked out 4 days a week. But then when they dug deeper into his program, he goes 4 days on, 1 day off, 4 days on again. So it was non-linear. So
Yeah.
he would do Monday through Thursday, take Friday off, and then do Saturday through Tuesday, take Wednesday off.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different. So things changed on that one.
Yeah.
And then again, I would have to ask, what's your goal? Because again, I don't think very many people could handle, let's say, more than 2 or 3 days a week of legs. But if you're an Olympic weightlifter, this is one of the goats of Olympic weightlifting. Look at the size of his legs. They do squatting 6 to 7 days a week. So it's all, you know, I guess we have to go into specifics on that one. But since he's on your page and on your you know, YouTube feed, I would have to assume it's probably about physique development or just looking better, or maybe even doing a show. So, I mean, you did 2 days a week. Do you know what Ronnie did by any chance?
I don't. I think Ronnie did 2 a week also. And that is true. I mean, it's been proven, and I said this all the time. You look at speed skaters, some of the most amazing round quads, and all they're in a squat position at all times. You know, you look at a cyclist, a speed cyclist, some of the craziest freaking legs, and they do legs all the time.
That's all they do.
Yeah, all they do. So it can happen that way. It's basically, if you're in Alaska, you're used to Alaskan weather. You know, if you're in Vegas, you're used to Vegas weather. So if your body is used to just getting down and doing the same workout over and over and over, it will adapt and start to grow. That old theory that you can't train the same body part over and over, that's been blown. You know, you got guys in prison, all they do is freaking bench and arms, and they have some of the recognized biggest arms and chests on the planet. So how does that not work? And don't get me to go deeper as far as, you know, you have to eat really well because their food is garbage. So how are they able to build all this muscle with a very, very minimum nutrients system? But, you know, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, my take as a exercise physiologist is exactly what you said, taking all the parameters into consideration. If you're doing things correctly and you're recovering correctly and eating correctly, muscle protein synthesis has been proven to only last post-workout. There's a big boost 24 hours after workout if your nutrition is right and your recovery is right, but it only lasts up to 48 hours. So let's say if we do what you said, we start with legs on Monday, the first day of the week. By Wednesday, there's the muscle protein synthesis is basically cut off. So if you go, I mean, everybody always brings up Tom Platz and him saying, you know, he went so hard on his legs, he might not do it for another 2 weeks. Reality check, you're not Tom Platz.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror. Every single person that comes at me online, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
You haven't even won a novice division at the NPC show in Saskatoon, Pennsylvania. So don't give me shit.
Yeah.
You can't go by that. Just like you really can't go by Lyoto Machida won a UFC title by drinking his own pee. Don't go down that route either.
Or Ronnie. You can't put Ronnie into your equation. I mean,
did he really eat barbecue sauce during his prep like he says he did?
I think so. Mine was ketchup on everything. Oh. But you have, it's, you know, we talked about this before also. You have certain athletes that just they don't live in our atmosphere. They're just different. They're just, you have the Ronnies of the world, you have the Tom Platts of the world. You have the freaking Usain Bolts of the world, Michael
Phelps.
Jordan, Michael Phelps, the Larry Birds, the Kobe Bryants. Don't look at those guys and compare them and say, well, they did it. No, man, you're really looking at aliens that lived amongst us. They're not good. They're okay to shoot at and say, well, this is what they did. I want to try it to be great.
Sure.
But don't get confused. They're just different. They're just built different.
I'm going to get you in a little bit of trouble here. Now, notice some people, all those names you went through, he never said LeBron.
You know what I will have to say, out of all of those guys, I mean, I know Kobe trained hard, but I do believe LeBron has probably invested more money in his body than Kobe, Michael, all of those guys.
Yeah, no, I'll give him that. He's also taken more time off than Kobe, Michael, all those guys combined, but that's another point.
Yeah, that's a different game. Yeah, you don't have to worry about going down the middle and getting your head busted.
No.
People,
but you're still taking time off.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the other thing with NBA All-Star Weekend coming up. What's bothered me about him a little bit, and I have a huge LeBron collection of rookie cards. So he's made me a little bit of money in that respect. But all those other guys, Kobe, Michael, Dominique, they did a lot of those all-star skills contests. They did the slam dunk contest. They did
Vince Carter.
And they won it. Vince Carter.
Can't forget about Vince Carter.
No, and even Larry Bird, he did the 3-point contest. They all did that. LeBron hasn't done a single one in 20 years. And I know that was I forgot. Was it Michael or someone said something about why he plays 82 games a season, even when he was 40? And he said, I thought about it. I remember when I was a kid, I went to these games wanting to see my favorite players. I would have been devastated if they thought they needed to take a day off to rest their legs.
Yeah.
When they get paid millions and millions of dollars to play a game.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand. If you do your leg workout on Monday, which I did this past Monday as well, 48 hours max, the typical person. We're not talking about enhancements or anything else on top of it. But muscle protein synthesis stops. So if you go and wait till the next week, you're possibly leaving gains on the table by not putting some work in on those.
Yeah.
So that's
you gotta remember your legs are different than your arms. You can't walk around all day on your arms. You just can't. They're not built for that. Your legs are built to carry your entire body all day long. Absolutely all day long. So that means they're a high aerobic muscle in it. What is it? Is it a white fibrous muscle?
For what? Strength or
for your legs? More so.
Everyone's a little bit different. I mean, it depends on the person.
Yeah, but you have to train them more often. I would say you have to train them at least twice a week if you're looking for any type of leg growth.
Well, that's and I always take into account when I'm speaking to people what they do for a living also. Now, recovery for someone who is a programmer for Meta, when they're literally sitting on their butt for the entire day of their work versus someone who is a law enforcement officer, a firefighter, or a construction worker that's doing manual labor, or, like my grandfather who owned farmers, the recovery is going to be a little bit different, or maybe it's better because of what they've been doing for a while.
I think the recovery is going to be faster because their legs are built for it. They're built to just, like I say, some of the hardest clients in the world to train are just a person who's super active, whether it's construction or something like that, because their parameters are so freaking high that you got to go chase those to be able to get it into a workout format, because an average person wouldn't be able to do those things. They would be crushed. They wouldn't be able to handle it a day, So I think those people legs are going to respond quicker and rehabilitate quicker. I mean, they go out and they just crush it all day. Whether it's a farmer or construction, they go out and just brutalize their body all day. And you know what? They wake up freaking 6 o'clock in the morning, they get it in again. Every day. Every day, man. Every day. I've always jokingly said, you know, cowboys are probably some of the strongest men on the planet because they work from sun up to sundown. No complaining, no days off.
No showers. Well, I'm trying to think. Scott also looks like he's a little bit of a taller, lankier person. So that would factor into my program design as well, because it's not going to be as easy for someone like that. I mean, it'll be easier to put on muscle on someone like, I don't know, who can we think of? Someone 5'10" versus Usain Bolt, who's 6'7".
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I guess it all really comes down to not just the design, though. They have to get that nutrition right, which a lot of people aren't.
Right. That's me.
Well, I mean, I can think of worse. I'm sure. Oh, you're one of those phases.
It's a sliding scale, bro. It just depends.
Depends on the day I ask you.
Yeah.
How is it today?
Depends. It just depends.
Okay.
Gosh, yeah.
How would you handle you've worked with Aaron Banks. How would you handle that situation with, let's say, a men's physique guy? And I won't say my normal men's bikini, but we'll call it men's physique.
We did a workout on his chest because he felt that his chest was one of the lagging body parts, and I just had him focus more on contracting his pecs instead of his shoulders or arms, because a lot of the times for a person who has a weaker chest, there's dominant more muscles, which is either your triceps or your shoulders. So it was a lot of squeezing. It was a lot of lighter weight, really focusing and just squeezing, and understanding how to contract the chest, because a lot of people, they can just do chest, and that's not doing chest unless you're going like that. You literally have to engage the chest from the bottom all the way to the top and then back, and you can't release that tension on it. So it was more so just that.
Did you feel like he was right about it lagging a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
now,
even he recognized that.
Okay. Now, that was, again, we get back to the actual topic. How much do you know how much they're actually? I pay zero attention to men's physique. No offense to them, but how much are they actually judged on anything below their waist?
I know now they changed it to where their shorts can't be baggy. They have to be form fitting, so their legs do come into play, which is weird, even though they covered.
Yeah.
So I guess they don't really have to be separated, but they have to have some type of leg development, unlike when they were like baggy board shorts. You couldn't see what was underneath there.
Does it, and do the new rules say something about how high above the knees they have to be also? Do you know that?
Yeah, it's a little bit higher. It's a little bit higher above the knee.
Because there were some guys that had some decent, you could tell they had good leg development. Like,
sure.
I mean, I know he didn't come across as the most likable guy, but Jeremy you could tell he had legs.
11. Yeah. Yeah, and you see here, I'm having my hands on the pecs so that his mind is there and focusing, and you just squeeze and engage in the pecs.
Too bad you couldn't have gotten to do some squats that day also. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, just for today's topic, mostly, though.
Huh?
Just for today's topic. But so that's interesting. They're actually, because I know a lot of guys that went into it because they didn't want to work out legs.
Yeah. And
I know some guys that got their pro cards that went in with that mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. It's changed, and I think it's changed for the better. I mean, I remember those board shorts, they would be nicely covered and everything, but man, they'd be baggy. Those legs would be swimming in there, boy, just swimming.
I wonder if that's why Jeremy dominated in the beginning so much, because he didn't wear the baggy ones. He was more form-fitting.
He had a great physique, too. He had a great physique top to bottom back then. It's just the game caught up with him. And guys who were more genetically gifted in those areas start seeing that sport and gravitating towards it.
Mm. Well, he also started out I think the guys now, it's almost like MMA, where they start out in MMA versus they were jiu-jitsu or wrestling before. Yeah. Whereas Jeremy, I did the cowl with him back when he was a lot younger, when he was a bodybuilder. So that's how he started out. So probably why he was more well-rounded back.
Yeah, definitely.
Overall.
Definitely.
Well, wow. So your thoughts on the division differences? Would you, since we'll stick with the physique side of things, what would you change, or would there be any changes if you were working with 3 different guys in 3 different divisions? Let's say you had an open guy, a physique guy, and a classic physique guy. Let's say you have someone like Andrew was, who was an up and coming amateur, who's an open bodybuilder, so super heavyweight. You have a Olympia qualified physique guy in his mid-30s. And let's throw me in there. Now you have me as a classic physique pro, but I'm in my early 50s. So
it's mentality. I use this analogy when I'm trying to explain to guys why my workouts are the way they are. Martial arts, you took martial arts, right? You started as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Throwing a front kick as a kid versus throwing a front kick as a pro, what's the difference?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Well, it's easier as a pro.
Why? Because you perfected it.
Yeah.
If you play football, running a down and out, what's the difference between a Pop Warner versus an NFL pro? Nothing.
$10 million.
Or hopefully more.
Yeah.
But it's nothing. The fundamentals are the same. Mike Tyson, his jab, his hook, it's fundamentally the same. It's just because he's done it over and over and over, he's perfected it more. And because he's perfected it, he's been able to then push his body to do harder, to go harder and harder. Like Bruce Lee said, I fear not a man who practices 1,000 kicks, which is 1,000 different workouts. I fear the man who practiced 1 kick 1,000 times, because he's perfected it. So I really feel that my workout will address any status. It's just a mental mind frame that we have to push you. So an Andrew Jack, no, man, all out, you barely going to be able to walk out the gym every workout, whatever
and that did happen a couple times.
Just because we need to build muscle, right? Classic physique, it would be more on their upper body. Not so much, we're going to do legs, but I'm not going to crush you doing legs, because it's really not a body part that's judged that heavily. So it's going to be more upper body, and it's going to be more versus your taper, trying to shrink your stomach down, being able to control, breathe through your diaphragm, things like that.
You mean physique?
Physique. Yeah, physique. A classic physique, you're basically a bodybuilder, man. You're wearing the shorts that Arnold wore back in his day. So again, we're going to crush every freaking body part, and you're going to leave the gym barely able to breathe. Each workout we have and each workout is going to get harder. It's not going to stay the same. You're going to go to bed like I used to talk about my workouts, man. I have an amazing workout, and I go to bed upset, how do I outdo that? I poured and the next day just crushed it again. So that level has to continue going up. You basically have to keep having, what is it called, PRs?
Mm-hmm.
Every freaking workout. because if you stay static, the muscle isn't going to grow. It's going to adapt and get used to it. So you have to continuously push your body each and every time you get in that gym. You have to crush it. I mean, my mentality, I mean, I loved it back then. Jeez, I miss it. It's like I couldn't wait to get in the gym, man. And my mind frame was like, I'm going to destroy these weights. I mean, they're going to be broken. And I mean, the gym is going to be in shambles when I leave here. And that was just my mind frame. When I walked in, I was like, let me at it, you know. And then based on my energy deliverance and my strength, I was able to achieve that. But that was my mentality every day, every freaking day.
Oh man, I got to work on that. Mine's usually, all right, when do I get to leave?
Well, mine is different now. Mine is like, it's not when do I have to leave. It's like, get in there. It's the start, you know. So, but that was back then, you know, that was over 20 years ago. Yeah, with a different mind frame and different everything.
Yeah, so I guess another very delineation here is, let's say, take me, for example, more closely resembles a professional male, typical person in the United States. So you want to look at, I mean, my situation is a little bit different, right? Because I work, you know, I'm not in a overly stressful work situation where I have to worry about timing. I am going to be competing against professionals, right? So it's not, you know, even at the masters levels, I mean, if you've seen the best of the best masters at the Masters Olympiad, they're still
They look great. Oh yeah.
So I have to go and put it. I mean, even though I don't like it, I don't have that mentality. Maybe I need to figure out a way to pick it up. But I put the work in. Like,
bring your butt down here. Bring your butt down here. We'll get
Monday night. I mean, after my leg workout, it was you almost feel like you're getting the beginnings of a flu before you go to bed because you just killed yourself for the most part.
Yeah.
Versus a guy who they're not worried about competing. They're not even worried about jumping on stage at all, but they are worried about the summer situations with their kids and their kids' friends seeing you take your shirt off and go into the pool in actual board shorts for swimming, which we would never do with competition once because it costs too damn much. How would the programming for them change a little? Because I'm kind of assuming from his Instagram that Scott isn't looking to compete, but he wants to get as good as possible. But at the same time, he's not looking to tear himself up either.
Yeah, that would be the same. We're going to do the same basic workout. It's just intensity is going to be a lot less. Mm-hmm. The recovery is going to be a lot less. He's probably going to train something like a 4 on, 2 off, so where he has the weekends off and he can eat whatever he wants and come back and start Monday through Friday, stuff like that. I'm not going to push him to the point of failure. I'm not going to be in his ear. I'm not going to be inside his brain, pushing buttons, causing him to get upset, to go hard or stuff like that. But, it will be an uncomfortable workout just because it has to be. There ain't going to be a lot of me telling me about his family and his wife. I'm not here for that, bro. We're here to work, but it will be a little bit uncomfortable for him, but it ain't going to be with that mentality like what I just said I had that I'm trying to inflict on one of my clients who are looking for more.
Right. I mean, I guess the differentiation is you do have to put an overload, right, for the workout period, no matter what your goal is.
Yeah.
But for me, after your workout's done, you have to basically take a second, gear yourself up towards that walk back to your car. But not getting to that point for most people.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it depends on where they're at. If they're really off the Richter scale, yeah, that's going to happen. I'm sorry. There's going to be days where that happens until you get your body up to par. If you're in fairly good shape, then no, we just need to add a little bit. It's like, somebody cooked you a meal and, they just didn't have enough salt and pepper. I'm just going to add a little salt, a little pepper here, just to make it taste a little bit better. And if they're in really great shape, then no, we're just going to let the freaking horse out and see what we can achieve here. So it's various difference, but it also starts on where you're at as a person. I mean, if you're really obese or say you're really out of shape, then we're not going to get to 20s. It's probably going to be 3s and 4s. And that's probably going to tax you out just that alone. But it still will be difficult for you walking out the gym just because you haven't done that before. So I don't see a scenario where that person is going to be skipping to my loo, walking out of the gym. If they are, I didn't do my job good enough because they got that much energy to walk out the gym to be, running or dancing or anything like that. Yeah, I'm upset. Okay, I'm like, okay, I got you. Next time,
That's big
yeah,
mistake.
next time when you're like shaking and this, that, and another, I'm like, nah, you got more in you. Let's go get that.
All right. Well, I guess bottom line though is how many times a week? It's got to be at least 2, I would think.
At least 2. At least 2. At least. Yeah.
And all the metrics for the benefits are kind of there for that, right? Just to be as strong as possible.
Sure.
In that lower body. That's the foundation for everything in life for the most part.
Most definitely is.
Well, anything else to add on that one?
Nope. Time to go. Time to go. If that didn't get you motivated to get in the gym, man, I don't know what is. Love the questions. Please keep them coming. Try to be a little bit more informative on what you want. The more information you can give us on what you're trying to achieve, the better it is that we can answer your question. But there's another episode of Flex for Life. My co-host, Greg. You guys, please like, subscribe, and follow. Send us questions. We love that. We appreciate you. God bless you all. See you later.